Hello friends, if you are new to my channel, I am Ashish and I am in Australia now. In this vlog, we'll be watching an interview of Director of Nursing. I conduct this interview when I was in Qatar, which is around 3 months before. If you are really interested to move abroad, this interview will be very important for you because we are giving some important hints on how to get a job in Qatar, and if you are able to get there, we are also talking about how to get a promotion. So please do watch this video till the end. In the series of interviewing the healthcare professionals who are working overseas, today we have Ms. Reena Philip. Ms. Reena Philip is from India. She is basically from Kerala but born and brought up in Mumbai. She's working here as a director of nursing education. So she is very popular leader in the hospital where I'm working at the moment, and I invited her to give us an insight about how is life of a director of nursing educator, what she has done specifically in order to get up to this level. So I welcome Ms. Reena Philip, and thank you for accepting the invitation. And I would like to request you for introduce yourself.
So, first of all, I would like to thank you, Ashish, for having such a novel idea of interviewing people and getting their experience, and then, of course, sharing this experience with so many others who are, into this nursing profession, which is quite a noble profession, but it is underlooked at many areas. And people think that if I am a bedside nurse, I can only stay as a bedside nurse and I cannot progress further. So it's really a nice thought that you have had in your mind. Thank you. You're welcome. Let me start by by introducing myself. I am Reena Philip, and I have started my nursing career. I have done my bachelor's in nursing from Mumbai, and after that, I was working in a very renowned hospital over there in Mumbai itself for almost 3.5-4 years, after which I went in to pursue my master's in nursing. After I completed my master's in nursing, I had the opportunity for working as an ICU coordinator, because that is my background. Critical care has been my background. After I worked for a few years as a critical care nurse coordinator, where I was looking into many ICUs. After that, then I was offered the position, because of my leadership skills that I had. I was offered the position of being an acting floor assistant, nursing coordinator assistant. So that gave me a lot of experience and exposure in terms of leadership, communicating with people who are right above your position, talking to leaders, knowing how to face challenges. And from there, then I would say it was destiny. I accidentally happened to attend an interview just to be a friend for my another friend, to be a company for her to the interview. So she asked me, do you want to, because they had a lot of vacancies at that time. So I said, I don't mind, I will just give the interview and see how it goes, when they were calling us for this place. So that time when I gave the interview, I was as I call it, destiny. I got selected among the many people who weren't selected at that time. And from there then started my journey of coming into a country which is outside India, and getting exposed to the situations outside India. So of course there was a lot of resistance from family, and especially when you're a female, if you have to go out from the house, there is a lot of resistance when it comes to your husband, your in-laws, your extended family. So there is a lot of resistance which comes, and there was a point of time also that I thought, do I really have to go, because you have to overcome all those things. Yeah. So then I thought, why break my head behind all these people and just stay in the current situation of India. Yeah. But then later again, when I thought, I saw the better living conditions abroad, as well as the nursing respect which the nursing professionals get in other places other than India. So from there, then I thought, let me overcome all the barriers, and then I came ahead here. Over here also, after coming, I would call it again God's plan. I mean, I wouldn't boast about my leadership skills or my abilities, but I would say that the kind of people that I interacted with, the kind of interactions that I had with so many other leaders around the people, that probably helped me to reach to this position where I am today. So I really feel grateful for that.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am, for such a elaborative introduction.
What motivated basically to move out of India? I wouldn't say India is not a very good place for nurses. Of course, it is, because that is from where we start our foundation. So we are really thankful and grateful for giving us those kind of varied experiences in India. But what actually, made me or motivated me to move out of India is to get an exposure of the different cultural background of, the kind of people that we will be exposed to in an external environment, the kind of respect that you get towards the nursing profession. That is something which made me think that, okay, let's move out and see what's the situation of the nursing professionals elsewhere in the world. And another thing which I would frankly like to speak about India is there is a lot of traveling which is there, and traveling takes a lot of your time.
Yeah.
So I mean, I was staying at a place which was almost like 2 hours away from my workplace, because I went into a multi-speciality hospital which was almost 2 hours away from my house. So it used to take me 2 hours to go, 2 hours to travel.
4 hours for that.
4 hours in total travel, and that would leave me very less time for my family. At that time, of course, I was still not having kids, and so I hardly used to get to see my husband, my own parents. So that's when I decided why to have a life where you are, of course, working, but at the same time you're not giving family time.
Okay.
Yeah.
So your family is a priority for
Yes.
you to take a decision.
Yeah.
Because you're from Mumbai, so
Yeah.
that might be a case. So when you applied, you got as a charge nurse.
Yes.
And that is very rare, because most of the people who comes from India, they come as a one staff nurse grade.
Yeah.
So what exactly you did additional that give you a job of charge nurse as not a staff nurse? So what was there in profile that gave you this job?
Okay. So when I was, interviewed, I was actually interviewed to be a staff nurse. But then, just as when they asked me to introduce myself, and I told them, because that time I was working already as an ICU coordinator after my masters. So when I was talking to them about myself and the kind of work that I was doing, then during the interview time itself, the panel decided and they shared papers to each other that I think we should take her in for a charge nurse post and not for a. So basically on my interview sheet, it was the position of a staff nurse.
Position.
Yeah. But then later, the way I was answering the questions, and they got to know that, of course, I'm speaking from my experience and not from the books. Then that made them to rethink about their decision. Yeah.
So friends, I think from this answer, I think we can take away that in the first question, introduce yourself.
Yeah.
That need to be thoroughly prepared, and your CV should be reflection of what you are telling in that interview. So you should not tell something which is not there in the CV.
True.
So your answers should be related with your CV and with your experience. And if you prepared well, I think you can, even if they are interviewing for lower post, they may take you on higher grades.
Definitely.
So if you have that experience and qualification.
Yeah.
So that is something is very important to take away from your
And
answer.
I would say that, I mean, as nurses, we all need to be flexible and accommodative, because you might think that, oh, I am into an admin role, I don't want to go, as a bedside nurse or as a staff nurse, because I'm already into an existing good profile. But then, nursing is a profession which keeps getting updated every now and then. And as you know, there are a lot of evidence-based practices which come. So as being nurses, don't think that if I am, if I am a charge nurse or if I am a head nurse already, I cannot apply for a staff nurse. Leave it to the panel, they will make their decision. Yeah.
An important thing to consider here that there is no there is complete transparency here.
True.
And you get the position that you deserve.
Correct.
If you deserve for a higher grades, you will get a higher grade.
Yeah.
If you don't deserve it, you don't expect that you will get it.
True.
So so completely transparency, and there is no money involved in that. No transactions involved in any kind of recruitment.
No.
It's completely merit based.
Definitely.
Okay, somebody wants to come to Qatar from India. So what they supposed to do to get here?
Yeah.
Like if whether they should work in, what kind of education they should get, what kind of experience will enable them to get a job shortlisted and then successful recruitment. So from your experience, because you are here for a long time, you have, as an education director, you have seen many nurses who are coming here. So from that perspective, what is your experience that what our nurses or healthcare professionals back home should do in order to secure a job here?
Okay. First of all, let me tell you, you need to have a very good CV, a very clean CV, because I have been on interview panels, I have been on selection panels, like being into this role. I have been called into, interview panels, and the first thing that we do as interview panel members is scrutinizing someone's CV.
Yeah.
And when you look at people's CV, there are CVs which have got bunches of papers.
Yeah.
You have certificates, copies attached, you have God knows what all attached. That is actually not necessary, because when as a panel member I look at that heavy load of paper, I'm like, oh, because when you are looking at someone's CV, you are looking at that person. In real. So when you see a very clustered CV, a CV which is looking very compact with a lot of information, because I remember seeing a CV which said type of equipments I have used. So I mean that that need not be there, because if I know that you are an ICU nurse, or if I know that you are a surgical nurse, I know that by the kind of work that you are doing, you will be exposed to a syringe pump, to an infusion pump, to a pulse oximeter. You need not write that. That shows how how your CV is poorly built. So and as I was telling you, no need to attach those different copies of certificates and things like that. You just have to mention over there what are the kind of certifications you have, additional certifications, or you have the conferences you have attended, or if you have done a paper presentation. Most of us, we miss to write all those things because we think that is probably not important. Because if you are applying for a charge nurse, and if you tell me that you have attended a leadership course or a conference which talks about nursing leadership, that gives me a more picture that you are clear in your mind, and that's why you have it on your CV. So I would say, first of all, start with having a very nice, structured, clean CV. So probably look at different samples of many people, how to build your CV. Your CV needs to be and honestly speaking, for a panel member, I don't have time, because at a time we receive around 15 to 20 CVs. So I'm not expecting to spend 10 minutes on one CV. I would hardly spend maybe 3 minutes or 5 minutes on one CV. So within that 3 minutes, in the beginning, in your first page only, if it's not an eye catcher for me, I'm going to close it. I'm not going to look at those 15 pages which you have. So better to keep it short and concise, and So that was the first thing that I would like to talk about, is building up your CV. After you've built up your CV, then of course, as Ashish mentioned earlier, whatever you write in your CV, you need to be responsible for it. Because if you're going to write, I have had interviews of people where they say, I am a critical care nurse, but when you ask them questions related to critical care, they are blank. So that speaks a lot about what kind of person they are. They are not true to themselves. So please be transparent in whatever you are writing there. Then after that, I would say that especially if you have to come to Qatar, you need to, because now it's a mandatory requirement, we need to have bachelor's in nursing with a minimum of 2 to 3 years of experience in whichever country, irrespective of wherever you work, whether it's a small town, whether it's a village, whether it's a city, that doesn't matter. Because as long as you are serving patients, that is what is more important. So you work for 2 or 3 years minimum. After that, now it's a mandatory requirement to give the prometric exam. So I mean, it is a very good thing, I would say, that you can do it while you are in India itself. So you can prepare while you are in your current job now, and then when you feel you are prepared for the exam, you give the exam, get the clearance. So because you have 2 or 3 years of experience, so during that time you start preparing yourself for the prometric exam. After you've cleared your prometric, then of course you can attend multiple interviews, keep coming your way. So every opportunity, please make it as the best opportunity. Don't knock down any opportunity which comes your way. So then you can attend a lot of interviews. Don't feel dejected, don't feel disappointed if you're not selected for an interview. Just take it as a learning curve, take it as a step for your own success. So don't feel dejected, or I'm not going to look further, because I tried and they did not select me or something, don't worry, next interview you're going to be more better. Yeah. So so you attend your interviews, and after you do your interviews, then the particular agency will sort of guide you as to how to do your verification of the license, verification of your education, and data flow. All those things will happen, and very soon then we can of course see you somewhere around.
Yeah, so to sum up, guys, I think you need to focus on your CV. Build it nicely, be eye-catchy, so that you will get shortlisted. Important is getting shortlisted. So until and unless you get shortlisted, you are not able to attend interview.
Yes.
So focus more on getting shortlisted by building your CV. Once you get a chance to attend interview, prepare yourself nicely, because you just hardly have few minutes to impress panel. And you need to be thoroughly prepared for the interview. Don't miss any opportunity to impress the panel. And once you get selected, then rest all things will be guided by the agency that will be it's like a mediator between the government of Qatar and the candidates. So they will help you to process your documents and all without any charging any fees from your end. So this is what about the recruitment. Okay, ma'am. So you came here as a charge nurse. So now you are a director of nursing. Is one of the well-known leader in our in a hospital where I'm working at the moment. You climbed from charge nurse to right away from 3-4 careers away from ahead to director of nursing. So what are the difficulties you feel? How you shape yourself in order to get onto that role?
So of course, because as you know over here, because the people are quite satisfied with the kind of opportunities that we are provided in this country, the kind of economical safety that you have. So of course, there is the attrition rates in this country are very low.
Very low, yeah.
So because of which the opportunities to climb high are not that much. Yeah.
Very important to note, because the people who comes here tend to be here for a long time.
True.
And as a result of that, if you come on, it's very few chances are there to get to climb the career ladder. And if you have an opportunity, you would need to try from all that you have in order to get that.
So hence I would say that unlike in India or in our own country, we would think that okay, 2 years I have been as a senior staff nurse, third year probably I can look into being a senior nurse, and then the next year I can look into being a head nurse. But the opportunities of growth here might be limited. However, the experience that you collect is vast, and the kind of experience that you get by interacting with a lot of transcultural people, that enriches you. So I would say that the kind of people that I interacted with, and of course you need to develop your own self-confidence, because at the end of the day, as Ashish mentioned earlier, you just have few minutes, or I would call it as an elevator pitch. You just have few seconds to impress the person who's next in front of you, because nobody would want to listen to your long stories unless you are able to impress them in the first interaction. So and then I'm thankful to this country and this organization, wherein there were a lot of continuing nursing professional development courses which were there. We had leadership courses, we had managerial courses which were there, and preceptorship course, so which definitely helped to shape up my personality and helped me to understand what exactly leadership is all about. So I'm really thankful for all those professional courses which helped me build my personality. And guys, I'll tell you one thing, that don't think that a post is all that matters. What matters is the skills that you carry with you, the experience that you carry with you, the impression, the lasting impression which you make on people's minds. Post is just a title which is given to you, or it is just a designation. But what mark you make on people's mind lasts for a longer time than your post. So I would say that irrespective of the post, even if you're able to have those leadership managerial skills, that is what matters most.
Yeah, I think this is a very knowledgeable answer. I think I would request you to rewind this and re-listen it, because this is the core of getting success
Yeah.
for anyone who is in nursing or in healthcare profession, any healthcare profession. So please do rewind and listen what ma'am has said. It's a really enlightening for all of us. So ma'am, like you have climbed from now, you are director of nursing. So somebody like from India, they are in teaching profession. They have a maybe they are working there for a long time as a teaching professional, and they are looking for opportunities overseas. But when the times comes, they will be asked to work as a clinical nurse. So what is your suggestion for them? Is it possible for them to get into a director of nursing or a educator post or any other good post that rather than coming from directly as a clinical, or they have to prepare themselves to come as a clinical nurse? So what is your suggestion for these guys, this audience who are in a academic side and have PhD or loads of experience in teaching?
Okay. I mean, that's a very good question, and that has in fact come to my mind also earlier when I was working as, at the clinical side. Will I, looking at the low attrition rates here, I have thought to myself, will I ever go up there? So I would say start dreaming from day one. Even though you're a bedside nurse, start dreaming from day one. And of course, your dreams have no boundaries. So when you have that goal in front of you, you will be self-directed towards that goal. You will be, self-driven, I would say, to move towards that goal. So don't think that, keep that in mind, I have loads and loads of certifications, or I have PhD or my other qualifications which are lot higher than what I am offered. But there are a lot of opportunities here, and talent is definitely sort of given encouragement. So and for any role to become a leader, you need to understand what is happening at the ground level. So if you don't understand what is happening at the ground level by exposing yourself, then of course by being a leader, how would you point out, or how would you be a mentor to the ones who are below you? And keep that dream in mind. Always think about how to achieve that dream. Network with people. Don't just keep to yourself and sulk, oh, I have been in this clinical post for a long time, why am I not moving, let me stop my career, I am not happy. No, I would say network with a lot of people. Meet with nursing professionals, nursing leaders, get to know what is their experience. And if you start dreaming, of course you will achieve it one day for sure.
Yeah, so just to sum up, don't stop dreaming, because even if you are in academic field for a long time, you have PhD, it's not sure that you will get straight away educator post or a researcher post or a director post. It's not at all, like, it's very rare cases that some people may get it, but it's very rare here. So be prepared to come as a clinical, but don't give up. Just start dreaming from the first day.
Yep.
And build your network. You should get a focus on the authorities. By you should contribute very effectively that, and something different than other people. So that authorities will know you, and then one or other day you will able to get shortlisted for the position that you are looking for. And you may succeed if you qualify for interview. So there are a lot of opportunities are there, but it's not that easy, because everything is transparent. If you are qualified, whichever country you belong, whatever your race is, it doesn't matter. You will get your post because you qualified for that. So it's that transparent here. So don't, like, if you are really thinking of coming out of India, and you think that Qatar is the best place for you, I think you should think, you should act on your thinking. That's what ma'am is saying.
Because Indians are respected all over the world, respected and given an honor all over the world, because of the intellectual abilities and the kind of education that we all have. So it is definitely, we are looked up at any corner of the world that you go to. Indians are definitely looked up, so nothing should stop you.
Ma'am, very important question that people might be thinking of. They are giving up their academic life, academic profession. They are coming to clinical, and some or other day they may climb the career ladder and they may get the post. So, how is the, from remuneration wise? I don't want to ask your exact salary, but just estimation that, okay, after doing all these sacrifices, at least I can get up to this amount per annum. Can you just give a brief idea about that, approximate idea of that?
Yeah. So, I mean, the first and foremost thing that, as in terms of benefit for Qatar, is it's a tax-free country.
Yeah.
So, whatever you earn, it's your own, and you don't have to, give it to anyone, or you don't have to give it or pay for anything else. So, mainly the amount that you would get as a staff nurse position or at my level.
Yeah, whichever levels you worked before.
Okay. So, at staff nurse level, I would say. Almost, I think, around 8,000 real is
Yes,
per month.
Per month, yeah.
So, which comes to almost around 16 or 20, 1,60,000 to 2 lakhs per month. That is at the staff nurse level. And then, of course, when you move on to being a charge nurse or a grade higher, which is head nurse, you get almost around 2,40,000 to almost 3 lakh when you become a head nurse.
That is basic salary.
That is the basic salary.
Yes,
True. Yeah, and then of course we have different other benefits as well. Yeah. So, and I would say that for the role of the director, then you would get anywhere between, I would say, I think 4 lakhs to 5 lakhs. Again, that's another basic thing. 4 lakhs to 5 lakhs. Per month.
Yeah. So that is the basic salary, and there are top of that there are some additional benefits are there, allowances are there. So if you are thinking that if you are working in a well-reputed institute and you are stable, if you want to get the exact amount, so ma'am has already given how much we can make it here. So this is just basic salary. We did not cover the allowances.
Yes.
So that is a 4 to 5 lakh is the basic for director. That is 2 per month. And ma'am, on top of that, what are additional benefits are there?
If we are at the director level, then of course we get housing allowance. Now, when we say housing allowance, either you can prefer to choose the accommodation which is offered by the organization, or you get an amount which will suffice you to buy a rental house outside. So there is housing allowance which we get, and after that then we also have transportation benefits. So that also comes to almost around 20,000 per month. Yeah. And then we have
Indian rupees. Indian rupees.
Yeah, Indian rupees. True.
Yeah.
And then we get children's fee reimbursement. So you can pay their. I mean, once you give the receipt of the fees, then the school fee can be reimbursed. So that is another benefit that we can get.
So your salary is basic salary is different. Then you have top of that you have monthly allowances.
Yep.
And in addition to that, if your kids are studying in a school here, so school fees also will be taken care by the government of Qatar. If you hold a higher grade, it's not for all the staff who are coming here. This only for people who are on a higher grade, like ma'am. So she is a director, so she might be getting the education allowance for the kids. And in addition to that, also there is a yearly annual tickets to fly back home, and that is given by the government of Qatar. So the salary, your allowances are monthly, and then on top of that, your education and your tickets to travel to your country is also being offered by the government of Qatar. So actually there is not much expenses that we have to bear as a individual if you're working for government sector in Qatar. Ma'am, now you are here for a long time, more than 10 years?
Yeah.
More than 10 years. So you have lived your family life here. So can you just give those people who are in academic back home, might be there having family, and they are thinking that, okay, what will happen to my kids' education if I decide to go there? So can you just give them idea like what is the education for kids here and how is the family life over
here? So one of the greatest benefits that I see coming here is you have a lot of time which you can devote towards your family. You have a lot of time where you can, sort of cultivate your hobbies, because there are a lot of people who do gardening here. There are a lot of people who engage in hobbies such as, going for football, going for badminton, going for swimming, which thinking about in India after your work is really difficult. So you can, sort of relieve your stress by enrolling yourself for any of these hobby activities. Talking about children, there are a lot of educational opportunities. There are a lot of good Indian schools that we have. We have not only Indian schools but also international schools which follow the international curriculum. So you can enroll to whichever school that you prefer to, and the admission process is also not that difficult. depending on which grade that you want to go to or which class that your kid wants to join, there would be an eligibility interview or an admission process. And once your kid is able to clear the interview or the written exam which is there, of course it is very easy for the kid to get into the school. And if your child has come from India or from another country and then they have joined somewhere in the middle of the year, then they also hold a sort of an orientation for the child, so that the child does not feel lost somewhere in the middle of the year. So they have a sort of an orientation only for that child, just to inform what kind of people he might see, what kind of friends he might have, what is the culture that he might be exposed to. So that is another thing which is good, because it psychologically doesn't affect a child who suddenly comes from India into the environment that we have here. So yeah, very good schools, and following the same CBSE syllabus that we have back in India.
So ma'am, what about the competitive exams? If they want to prepare for IIT or NEET exams, their kids, and then is there any opportunity available for them to prepare themselves?
We don't have, the education is still developing here, though we have universities which are run by the Qatar government. But being Indians, we would always prefer our children to also be brought up in that kind of thing. So yes, we don't have a lot of preparation for future or IIT, JAE or your NEET exams, which can be done in India only. Yeah.
Okay. So that covers how is the family life in Qatar, and I think this conversation will help you to take a decision if you have a family and if you have a kids studying in around 9 and 10 standard. I think this answer will help you to answer, and this answer will help you to get the clues for your next decision. What can be a decision if you have the kids which are in 9 and 10 standards, so you can take your decision accordingly. Ma'am, so you have seen many nurses who are coming here, and do you think this place is for lifetime, or at some point of time you need to think that okay, this place is well enough to give the good exposure and to financial stability, but after some time I need to go back to India, or sometime we need to think of other countries? So what is your perspective on that? Because you have been an educator for a long time. You have been you working as a director now. You are handling many staffs under your leadership. So what is the perspective you are getting from all these movements happening, attrition happening?
Yeah. So of course, I would say in comparison to India, we receive a lot of respect. You have good family life. You are able to develop yourself personally. You have the time to cultivate your hobbies. But when it comes to, especially me being a woman, and I have children and I have to think about their future. So when it comes to thinking about the children's future, I would say we have certain limitations here, because the education system is over here that we have from India is only up until grade 12. Then after grade 12, if your child wants to graduate, your child wants to get enrolled in a professional course, so for that, of course, you need to look into another country, or you need to look at a place which is going to bring more future aspects of future prospects for your child. So for looking at all those reasons, then definitely for some time you stay here, gain that financial stability, get some deposits, so that when you're taking a risk later in future, you have some reserve which you can use. And then of course, looking at the children's future, it is better to move to another country.
Very important to note here, like many of the staff who come to Qatar, they use Qatar as a stepping stone.
Yes.
They get the experience, international experience. They get a enriched experience with the culture. They get the cultural competency. Their sensitivity get increased. Then after all of that, they try to move to the developed world, Western countries, more specifically, only for their kids' future. It's because the education here is up to tell standard is very good from Indian CBSE schools. After 12th, you have to take a decision. Either you have to go back to India, or some of the staff are sending their kids to Western countries for further education. So this this also need to be taken into consideration before you take a decision of moving to Qatar. Or if you have other alternative options, you can think about that. So mostly for money, for finance, I think this is the best country in the world.
Yes.
That offers a salary for any healthcare professionals. I think this is the best in the world after tax. So because there is no tax, so whatever you get, you straight away take in your pocket and send it back to home. There is no terms and condition or string attached to it.
Yes.
So that is one of the best thing. One of the thing you need to consider about that and think about that. Ma'am, what is now you already been director, so you have achieved a lot in your professional as well as academic life. So and you have masters in from SNDT, which is one of the best college in Maharashtra, as I know, in nursing.
Yeah.
So are you planning to go for PhD? And if yes, which country you will be looking for?
Yeah, I definitely hope to pursue PhD. And because I am from Mumbai, I would prefer to take it somewhere from Mumbai, so that when I'm going for my contact hours during my PhD, or if I am going to to meet my guide in terms of my study, then I don't spend much of my time, because of which I get devoid of spending time with my family, with my parents. So I would definitely look in for a university from Mumbai itself.
Mumbai.
Yeah.
So very important to know that see, your academic growth is not stopped here.
Yes.
You can continue to pursue your dreams. There is no hindrances from the authorities. They are very much supportive.
Yeah.
For your application for PhD, and also you can ask for your supervisor, local supervisor from here. Right? Is that correct?
Of course.
If you are aiming for, ma'am is might be planning for the future, but if you are planning, there still is a feasibility. Is
Yeah.
there some possibility to get things done while you're working?
Yeah.
So there is full support from the organization for that. So so if you are thinking that okay, my professional growth will be stopped, only money will be earned, no, it's not like that. We have best example in front of us that she is planning for PhD in future.
I have enrolled myself.
Oh, so you already enrolled for
Yeah.
so it's a clear doubt now. So already she has enrolled for PhD, and that's another more encouraging example for us. I think nothing can stop you if you have a clear cut direction a vision for yourself, that where you want to land and which career path you would like to go for. So I think you any advice you would like to give, ma'am, those who are thinking of getting into the Qatar now?
Yeah.
After they might have got enough motivation now by listening your story. So maybe they are planning to come here, and and then is any last advice for them from your side?
So just to sum up all those things, because we have mentioned a lot from the beginning, dream big, always move towards your dream. Never let anyone stop you from what you are dreaming and what you think to achieve. Always be yourself. Don't try to fragment it or augment what you are not. Just develop your personality. Self-confidence is something which is very important. Always try to be to the point, impress others in terms of not only professional but also personal. Be that good human being which everyone looks up to. Be not only thinking of getting from people but also giving to people. How can I contribute to my nursing profession, because this profession has given us a lot. So of course we need to do a lot to the community as well, to the new nursing students who are coming out. So try to reach out. And of course, if you're thinking of coming to Qatar, it's a very good place to come. If just get your dreams in your bag and plans how you want to achieve that dream, and definitely you will reach there slow, but definitely steadily you will be there one day.
Yeah. So this sum of all, and thank you, ma'am, for coming for this interview and
Thank you.
and motivating our audience regarding what is the life of nurse in Qatar. And the third example is the best example that even if you are starting from staff nurse post, you can still be a director of your department, and that is possible with your clear vision.